Hi, alright, welcome. I'm Jamie. Thank you for taking the time to join me. On this channel, I share with you my experience of baby loss, as well as what it's like to restart your journey to try and conceive. On today's video, if you're ever wondering when to try again after a miscarriage, I'll be giving you the reasons why you should wait to try again, as well as the reasons why you can start straight away. So grab a cuppa and join me for a chat. So there are some reasons behind why you would want to wait before you start trying to conceive again. And I'll be running through a few of them. But if you've had a late miscarriage like myself, a lot of the time there are tests and investigations into why you had a late miscarriage that are taking place. And you want to give yourself the best chance in your future pregnancies. So it's better to wait till the results of those tests have come back. Whether they're positive or negative, there is something to be learned from a previous miscarriage. So you'll want to wait until those investigations have been completed. If you're recovering from illness or infection like I was, the medication that you might be on might not be suitable to take whilst you're pregnant. So if it's not suitable for pregnant women, then you shouldn't really be trying to conceive whilst you're on that medication, because you could become pregnant and then that medication could affect the pregnancy. The blood tests might find hormone irregularities. So if you've waited to get those results back, and for example it's to do with your hormones being unbalanced, then there's a medication that you can get to balance you out. So you wanna blood tests can show hormone irregularities or discount immune system issues. Chromosomal tests can be carried out to ensure that neither parent has any chromosomal abnormalities. These tests are usually carried out on the bit of tissue that is left over after miscarriage. There are two types of molar pregnancies, and in a molar pregnancy, whether it was partial or complete, you want to wait till you have passed all the tissue and completed any medication that you're on before you start trying to conceive again. A complete molar pregnancy is one where the abnormal cells grow inside the womb after conception, but there is no baby. A partial molar pregnancy is where there might be early signs of a baby, but for whatever reason, this baby or this pregnancy is not going to survive. Your GP will need to run some tests to ensure that your HCG levels have returned to normal before trying to conceive after a molar pregnancy, whether it was partial or complete. If you have had an ectopic pregnancy, you would have been put on some medication. I'll leave the name on the screen because I am no good at pronouncing these medications, so I'm not even going to try because I will butcher it. But if you have been prescribed this particular medication, then you need to wait about 3 months before you can try to conceive again. This medication could harm the baby, and you should not be trying to conceive whilst you're still on it. Even if you have had a fallopian tube removed, you can still get pregnant after an ectopic pregnancy that's resulted in a fallopian tube needing to be removed. All you need to do is ensure that you have completed your treatment before you try to conceive again. According to the NHS, 65% of women who have had ectopic pregnancies within the first 18 months go on to have successful pregnancies. There is a 10% chance of having another ectopic pregnancy. Out of all these reasons as to why you should wait to try again, 1 in 5 women are affected by mental health issues either pre or post pregnancy. So it's essential that you pay attention to your mental health and you are in the right headspace before you start thinking about trying to conceive again. It's okay to not be okay. I've been there. After a miscarriage, it is possible that you might be suffering with post-traumatic stress syndrome. I know my anxiety spiked after my last miscarriage. Even now, if I hear sirens, I get palpitations when I'm in hospital corridors. I start to get a little bit more anxious, and I've discussed these feelings with my GP and with Tommy's a Pregnancy charity, and I urge you to do the same. I've launched my ebook, which is all about the 4 steps to healing after loss. So I'll leave a link to that in the description below. So grieving is a process, and I talk about my process in my ebook. So take a butcher's down below. You should never feel rushed or feel any pressure to feel okay. If you're not okay after your miscarriage, take that time. It's essential that you take that time to get your mind right, to work on your relationship if that's required, to reconnect with your other children, to go back to work if that's how you deal with things. But it is really important that you pay attention to your mental health before you start trying to conceive again. Get your mind right so you are ready to start that journey again. So if you're not recovering from illness and you are not taking any medication, then you can start to get pregnant once you're ready, like whenever you want, straight away. It's up to you. There is no evidence that I have found that suggests that waiting makes you less likely to have a miscarriage or puts you more at risk of a miscarriage just because you started trying again straight away. Like, it's up to you, and as long as you're not on any medication and you feel mentally okay to start that journey, then feel free. I say sooner the better. If you or someone you know has been affected by miscarriage, why not send them my playlist to let them know that you're thinking about them. It's full of information, and I also talk about my personal miscarriage stories. So once you've made that decision that you're going to start to try and conceive again, then it's really important to let everyone know as soon as you find out that you're pregnant again. So the early pregnancy unit, your GP, if you have any specialists, midwives, let them all know as soon as possible so that they can monitor you from the onset or as soon as you find out that you're pregnant. Having all this early intervention doesn't guarantee that you won't miscarry, and in my case it didn't make a difference, but it's just important, and I think it gives you peace of mind if you let medical professionals know what's going on with you as soon as possible so that they can do some tests and scans and reassure you along the way. I unfortunately fall into the 1% of women who go on to have recurrent miscarriage. But for most people, this will not be your situation, and if you've had a miscarriage in the past, you will probably go on to have a successful pregnancy after a miscarriage. On this journey, I have found that securing my mental health has been the most important thing, more important than how I felt physically. What's more important to you, your physical or your mental health, or both? Let me know in the comments below. If you've made it this far in the video, please hit the subscribe button. It really helps out my channel. And right next to it is that like button. Go on and give that a little